Congratulations again. Are you supposed to plug a podcast? You want to do that first?
Yeah, shout out to I have a podcast. It's called the Simple Man Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, anywhere podcasts are found. Our most recent episodes was with Aljamain Sterling and the current reigning UFC champion Merab. So thanks to those guys for coming on.
What was the wildest topic you guys discussed?
Weight cutting. We asked Merab, like, hey, like in the dark, deep depths of your weight cut, like, how's it go? He was like, well, a lot of times I feel terrible, but sometimes when I need energy, I eat cake. That was very unexpected for the champ to say. So, yeah.
So did you eat cake this week?
I didn't. Well, I don't cut weight, so cake is just it's normal.
It's already worked into your... Did you write like a message to yourself on top of it? Or get like your picture put on it?
No, I typically save the funfetti cupcakes for my birthday with chocolate icing. But besides that, I'll stick to like, maybe I'll eat a date with peanut butter and try to convince myself that's cake.
So what did you think of your opponent in there?
Oh, I thought my opponent is very tough. A truly, one of the top wrestlers. He's got, I think he's an NAIA or Division II national champ. So quite a prestigious title he holds. And, it's just a little bit different. Like, I also started off wrestling. I wrestled through high school, a little bit in middle school. I did 1 year of Division III college. But I continued to study the sport of wrestling as well as the sport of jiu-jitsu. So, when it comes to blending both together in grappling, this is my thing.
Were you getting frustrated with the referee?
No, not frustrated, because I know they're just trying to do their job to the best of their ability. But it was my understanding that when you go out of bounds in a certain position, you're supposed to restart in that same position. So when I got to the body lock and it was like defending an Uchimata, and I was out of bounds with my hands locked around the waist. I was under the assumption that we're going to restart in that same position. But that didn't happen. And it is what it is. You got to roll with the punches and just have confidence that you're going to get back to a more dominant position and get your required outcome.
I know last week I asked you if it felt like this was a CJI versus ADCC match. Did it feel like that? Now that you've done it, did it feel like that? Or
no, to me, competition just feels like, just feels fun. Like, I don't really think of it as anything. Like, I understand that people are out on the mat looking to compete against me, and I really just compete against myself. I look to be the best version of myself, and the true me is out there on the competition mats. And then when I'm not competing, I'm just hanging out with the family, just enjoying life. But I truly do enjoy competition. That's why I take advantage of it anytime it comes my way. Like a lot of guys in my position, I just won $1 million a couple months ago in August, and like I'm back out here competing against somebody that's really tough. Maybe he's considered a purple belt, but he just submitted one of the world's top black belts. He submitted Nicholas Marigali in competition, threw him to the mat twice, passed his guard, and choked him and forced him to submission. So, Pixley's no pushover. He's a very talented young man, and I'm grateful to have the ability to compete against him.
So tonight they have the floor on the mat. Usually it's up on a platform. I know you just competed in a pit. Which do you prefer?
Well, I prefer it on the floor because it takes a little bit of risk off of the going out of bounds. Like, it's better to fall on like a chair as opposed to drop 6 foot to the floor. But the main advantage of the pit is it's really difficult to run away from your opponent, to disengage, and then there's no ref interference. So like the situation we had where I was like, I had double unders and we go out of balance and we kind of get a funky reset. There's no resets, and when you slide into the pit, there is you keep going until the competition commences.
Dana White was there watching you compete. I don't know if you're aware of that. I asked him on Tuesday if he would like to see you do MMA. Would you ever do MMA?
I'm a millionaire with no CTE. I think I'm good. Those guys are a different breed that fight. I understand my capabilities in jiu-jitsu, and I understand what it would take to become the UFC champion. And, for me, it would probably take 5 years committing to striking, and then it takes away from some of the jiu-jitsu. I don't know if I would love fighting, but I know I absolutely love jiu-jitsu. So that's what I do. I wake up every day with a goal in mind when it comes to training and when it comes to my other business endeavors. And, I look forward to every single day. So, there's no need for me to take a different path. I'm making great money, and that money continues to multiply as I make better decisions in life.
And today there was some drama between Gordon and Craig. I'm not sure if you saw any of that. I don't know if you look at the news before you compete. Were you aware of it? Do you have any take on it?
No, I'm completely unaware. Yeah, leading up to competition, I don't really go on my phone much. So yeah, no, I have no idea.
So Gordon, do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Gordon basically said Craig is, deserting, broke up the team. He's scared of whatever it was that was happening there. Craig said Gordon's racist, that there was abuse. Just wondering what your take is. Which side are you on? I know which side you're on.
Well, I'm definitely on Mr. Jones' side. That's my teammate, my business partner. But as far as I think it's just fun banter. Both guys are chatty with each other. It's good for the sport. I think if there's no drama, it gets kind of boring. And then if there's too much drama, maybe it's just interesting. So I don't know. Maybe those guys need to meet on the mats yet again and have fun with it.
Thank you.
Is it going to take a Saudi Arabia trillionaire to get you and Gordon to grapple?
I mean, I offered him $1 million. I don't know what else. That's my offer was fairly simple. I won CGI. I was like, hey, let's do a bet match. My $1 million versus your $1 million, winner take all. And I was like, we can do it on, we'll stream it free on YouTube if you want. And he came back a couple weeks later with a rebuttal that was like, all right, I'll do the match only if Craig Jones competes with me on the same day, and only if my stomach doesn't hurt, and only if it's a no time limit match, and only if it's under these rule sets. And I was like, he wrote to me, his answer was like reading a text from a girlfriend that's breaking up with you. It was super long. After the first period, I'm kind of out of there. You know what I mean? I'm not much of a reader, more of an audiobook kind of guy. So, I don't know. Was it kind of a yes, kind of a no? So who knows?
Do you think that match is going to happen, or is it just going to be kind of back and forth? Every time you grapple, he's going to say something. Every time you grapple, you might say something. Is it just going to, what do you think is going to happen?
He doesn't want to lose. If you look at what happened, right? He beat me twice when I had 3 years, maybe 3.5 years of jiu-jitsu experience. And with that, I went from getting submitted, right? Then 3 months later, train some leg locks. Then I break his foot in competition. And then at the end of the match, I lock up a rear naked choke, force him to tap at the bell. And it's like, he sees the reality of it. And then you add on what's it been 3 years since then. I mean, my progress has been tremendous. You look at my most recent competitions, I went from beating guys in close matches to dominating to now submitting the past 5 opponents. So, it's not looking good for him or anybody really. It's not even about the name Gordon. He's good. He's great grappler. But I want all the best guys bringing my way.
I think the biggest match that could probably be made right now is you versus Victor Hugo. Obviously, that's the match that was supposed to happen at CGI. Do you think that's big enough, or is that the biggest fight that can headline this UFC Fight Pass Invitational? Yeah,
I mean, I would take Hugo. I would take Karen Duarte. I would take Pena, Felipe Pena as well. So any of those guys, let's do it.
And finally, for me, you were in attendance for Cody Steele's win on Tuesday. Just what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, shout out Cody Steele, man. Truly dominant performance. He fights like a dog, like fucking somebody with rabies or something, man. It's a scary sight. And you can tell he truly is passionate about fighting. So, I really resonate with that. And he's we're both kind of living in the Austin, Texas area for a while. He obviously moved down here to Las Vegas, Nevada nowadays. But it's great to see, kind of a Texas local do his thing on the world stage.
Congrats.
Yep, thank you.
Nicky, like it was mentioned earlier, Dana White was in attendance. He seemed to really be enjoying the action tonight, especially your win today. So what do you make of a guy like him with all the endeavors he has going on, really getting invested more into grappling?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely awesome for us. I appreciate anybody that tries to grow our sport, especially with the UFC and Dana White, with the kind of audience that they have. They can really make us more professional, there's more money to be made in sports, more eyes to be to be on the sport. And I think with the right matchmaking, the right rule set, which UFC has, continue to be more and more entertaining every time.
And how do you feel being really on the forefront of this exponential growth? I mean, stuff like your CGI win got a lot of eyeballs from all over the world, and I feel like if you ask a casual person, Nick, you're one of the first names they would bring up. So how does it feel to be on the forefront of this growth?
Yeah, it feels great. I think something like almost 3 million people tuned into CGI over the 2 days, which is unheard of when it comes to jiu-jitsu. So, what Craig Jones has done for the sport, and Craig Jones and Seth Bilal, the two partners that made CGI happen, truly impressive. And, my team as well, B Team Jiu-Jitsu, like on YouTube, we do our own thing of growing where, I think we have something 380, almost 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is a great accomplishment for us. And it's definitely UFC helps guide us that way as well. Every time we get to compete, we get exposure from you guys, and it's always mutually beneficial. So I'm definitely appreciate the help from those guys for sure.
And given the leaps and bounds the sport has grown in this year alone, what do you think are some things that should happen in jiu-jitsu in 2025 to continue that growth?
I think we need walls. I think the CJI pit is that's where it's at. It takes out the ref needing to be there. The ref can be like, all right, push to action, but there's no more out of bounds. There's no running away. Sliding down the pit is symbolic of closing the cage door when it comes to jiu-jitsu. So I think implementing some kind of walls would be very beneficial to the audience.
Would you pitch that idea for these Fight Pass Invitationals?
I would absolutely pitch that idea.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How is dad life?
Yeah, dad life is great. I think I'm getting stronger bi-weekly.
I wonder how.
That's just how it goes. I think, I have a duty now to protect child and woman, and that's kind of how it goes. And I think every time I have a kid, I'll get stronger and stronger. So we'll see by number 12.
And then finally, we asked you the night that you won the $1 million what you were going to do with it, and you said you were going to invest and then win another $1 million. But did you buy anything cool with it?
No, I'm in the process of buying some land. I have a beef jerky company, Carne Jerky, CarneJerky.com. And we sell a lot of jerky online. The problem is that we keep selling out, which it's really mainly due to our level of production, right? So I'm buying some land in which I can produce a facility that can facilitate more jerky production. And then with the rest of the acreage, I'll develop it real estate-wise over the next few years.
Right here in the back. You said that you have really no interest in MMA, but Gordon Ryan has been out with John Jones helping him for his camp with Stipe. Have you been contacted by any fighters, any strikers that have maybe come and asked you to come help with their grappling, or is that something you'd have any interest in doing in the future?
Yeah, I would definitely be an MMA coach. Jiu-jitsu for MMA coach in the future. I've had many talented UFC fighters and some Bellator guys as well contact me, swing by B Team, train with us. But as far as facilitating a camp, it's difficult for me to do now because I am in the prime of my career and I will be here for the next few years. So I have to be kind of selfish. But once I get kind of one foot out the door in the jiu-jitsu stuff, I can focus on my fighters. I don't like to half-ass anything. So either I'm coach or either I'm grappler. So in the far future, I can give more attention to fighters and truly develop some champions. But we do have one B Team grappler that's on his way to the top. I believe he's 3-0 right now, Damian Anderson. I'm sure we'll see him in the Contender Series and over the next few fights. And in my opinion, that kind of athlete, his dedication, his intelligence. What am I trying to say? The way he approaches the sport is very, very intelligent. So I can see him doing very well and being UFC champion one day.
Congrats on the win. Thank you.
Thank you.